Hey everyone, today for you guys I'm going to be doing a video which I've seen a couple of different people do, and it's the most unique products within my makeup collection. So I just pulled out a few. I'm sure that if I really spent a lot of time thinking about it, I could probably find a couple more, but these are the ones that in terms of when I think products that are unique either in function, in just the formulation, or even packaging, they're just products that I have not either been able to find dupes for, just ones that I think are very unique, and ones that I think if you purchase you won't necessarily be upset you did, because they're just different from anything else that I think you can find out there on the beauty market. So without further ado, let's just get on into it. I do want to let you guys know though real quick that this makeup that I am wearing, I do have a tutorial on it. I think I will have it posted before this. It's just going to be my fall makeup tutorial, so either keep your eyes open for it or go back and watch it. I wish that I was better about my filming schedule and I knew when I was going to post videos, but I feel like it's probably going to be up before this, so be sure you check that out if you haven't. And now let's just get onto the products, and I want to apologize for my hair real quick, okay? I know it's crazy. I just decided to air dry it and not do anything else with it because I am lazy, and that is what wearing a flannel and being all cozy with your fall makeup is all about, right? So let's start with this in no particular order. I'm going to start with foundation here that I think is very unique in terms of its packaging, and this is the Cargo Oil-Free Foundation. You guys know that I've talked about this over and over and over again. Personally, I think the formulation is unique because this is one of my absolute favorite foundations in the entire world. It's oil-free, but it still remains very moisturizing, so as we get into the drier months, I find that I actually prefer this foundation because there's something about it that still has an emollient kind of quality, and it really moisturizes my skin without making me look over shiny or over dewy. I can wear this all year long and feel like I get a great result, which I can't say that about a lot of my foundations. But I think what makes this obviously the most unique is the fact that it comes in like a blood bag looking packaging tubing here, but I love this. If I could have all of my foundations packaged this way, I totally would, because what I think is so genius about this is it is a totally squeezy kind of bottle here, so you can get every single last drop out of it. You can literally squeeze it all out at the very end, but unlike something, let me just pull out something for example, the Garnier Bb Cream here, which I love, this leaks all over the place because it's in a packaging that either needs to be on its side, it needs to be stood upright, and the foundation just leaks out. Where with this, you actually want to stand it this way so that the foundation can continue to just settle here at the bottom, or even when it's on its side, the little nozzle here has enough room where you won't ever get any foundation spilling out, which I really, really like. I also prefer this packaging over tubes like this where, you know, kind of a similar deal. You kind of have the nozzle and you can squeeze every little bit out. I just think that this is just very unique. There's something about the actual design of it. It's very thin. It allows you to travel easily. You can really shake this stuff up really nicely in here, which I also like. And it's just so compact. I just really like this. And like I said, if all of my foundations could be packaged a certain way, I would make them this way because I just feel like this works. The next product I'm going to talk about here is a blush, and this is actually a blush that I used in this tutorial on what I'm wearing today. This is the Makeup Forever HD blush. I will start by saying I'm not a fan of cream blushes typically. I find them to be very annoying because, you know, I put on my foundation, I put on my concealer, I put on my powder, I feel like I got a perfect canvas, and then I go in with something creamy and I feel like I'm just wiping it off and wiping it away. Typically cream blushes have an oil or a silicone or something in them that really makes them slip, obviously, to make them creamy. And when you apply that on top of foundation, what you're essentially doing is wiping away everything you put in underneath there. And so any sort of freckling or acne marks, anything like that that you work so hard to cover up, you put a cream blush on top of it and there it is again. It's a little bit pinkier, a little bit peachier, but it's still there. What I think is so amazing about this particular formulation and why I think it is so unique is I don't get that effect from it. It does have a very creamy consistency, but it dries so quick into a powdery sort of finish that I find that with my brush, and I typically use like the L Small Stipple brush, it just lays on top of everything. It doesn't actually meld and mesh with everything. It just sits there on top in the most beautiful way. And I find that all my concealing, anything that I've ever done, it still is underneath there, so that when I put this on top of it, it just gives the most airbrushed, most perfect look ever. The texture on these is just so unreal, and the actual colors I think are so pretty. The pigmentation is definitely there. It's really, really great, but it still looks subtle and it still looks soft, and I've raved and raved and raved about these because the texture is just so amazing, and I have not been able to find another cream blush that, you know, has the same sort of formulation. This just, like I said, has such an airbrush kind of quality about it, and I don't know what the formulation, I don't know what exactly is in here, but it's magical. It definitely looks great on camera, great in pictures, and I'm just obsessed with it. And, you know, I just don't feel like I have anything quite like that. Moving on to some lashes here. These are from Ardell. Now, I touched on these a little bit in a couple videos back. These are the soft touch lashes. I find these to be so unique because they're one of the few lashes out there on the market, as far as drugstore accessibility goes, that are actually tapered and have that kind of mink or silk lash kind of quality to them, whereas most drugstore lashes, if you look at them closely, you will notice that they are cut at a blunt. They don't have any sort of a taper, any sort of a kind of point, a very, very fine tip to them, so they don't look as much like lashes, like natural lashes, and they tend to look a little bit more like false eyelashes. And I think the allure to mink lashes, silk lashes, you know, that are a little bit more expensive, maybe $15 to $30 in price tag, is that they are so wispy on the ends, and they go out into such a fine point that they just look fluttery and, like I said, wispy and soft and gorgeous. And that's something that I felt like the drugstore lashes were really missing. Well, now with these, I feel like you get that same exact really pretty, really wispy, fine, gorgeous effect, but at a quarter of the price tag. These are just as expensive, or I should say just as cheap, as all of the other Ardell lashes. I just think that they're a lot prettier and they're a lot more natural looking. I just absolutely love these. Like, I could sing the praises of these all day because they're so gorgeous, and I would highly recommend that you guys try them. This is a pack that I haven't opened yet, but I have two others that I've completely ruined because I've worn them so much. And I really don't know if I would ever, you know, pick up another lash style from Ardell other than these soft touch ones because they just look so pretty. Let's touch on a concealer for a minute. This is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind concealer in the brightener shade. Why I think this is so unique is because while I do have a lot of other brightening and color correcting products within my collection, very few of them offer the coverage that this one does. This covers like an actual full coverage concealer, where I find with some of my other pinky tone concealers, they kind of correct everything, but they don't necessarily conceal. This somehow manages to do both. Now, I don't know if I would wear this all by itself under my eyes. I have done that before, and it's just pink enough where it can kind of look a little bit ghostly. I really like still applying this on top of concealer just to kind of add some brightness, but I just have never been able to find a brightening product where I can apply it on top of concealer and feel like, oh my god, look at how much more coverage I'm getting out of this. Even with some of my more peachy tone correctors, I just haven't been able to find anything that sits nicely under or over concealer as much as this does and provides so much coverage. And with being such a thin formulation, it's just weird. I don't know what it is, but again, there's just something about this that I reach for it over everything else because I feel like it's so unique in the way it performs. Let's talk about an eye product now, and I find this to be very unique in the formulation and, you know, kind of comparatively to other products that I've tried like this in the past and how those have performed. So this is the Flower Beauty Cream Eyeshadow. You can find these at Walmart. I have mine in the shade Awesome Blossom. And at first, when I bought this, I was very, very skeptical because this is a very mousse-like formulation. It's very jelly, kind of like, again, very moussey. I guess I would say it's a little bit more wet than a typical mousse. It's definitely very sticky feeling, and I had just this hunch that if I applied this to my eyes and if I wore it alone, that I would get some major creasing, because everything else that I've tried like this in the past has creased on me super badly. Now granted, I do have very oily eyelids, but you know, still I just didn't have that high of expectations for this. But I was so surprised when I wore this and I was like, oh my gosh, this actually is staying on my eyes. I wouldn't say it's as long as wearing as the Maybelline Color Tattoos or, you know, the MAC Prolonged Paint Pots or anything like that, but I can get a pretty solid 6-7 hour wear out of this, which for this type of a formulation on me, that is totally saying something, because most things like this will crease within an hour or two, given. I mean, that is like tops. So I was so surprised by this, and I haven't been able to find another cream eyeshadow that has this type of a quality to it, this very moussey, liquidy kind of texture that still provides the pigmentation that this does and still holds up on my eyes as much. I absolutely love this. This is by far one of my favorite cream eyeshadows in the entire world, because it's just fun. It's a little bit different than, you know, your typical kind of, like I said, Maybelline Color Tattoo. It just feels a little bit different. It's very fun to put on, but I like that it still sticks on my eyelids and it performs well. Last for the makeup bits, and I do sort of have a more of a body product here. This is the Laura Mercier Paint Wash Liquid Lipsticks, and I know that I've talked about these way too much on my channel, but I love these so much, you guys. And when this was actually the first product that came to my mind when I was thinking about unique products that I have in my collection, because I do not have another liquid lipstick that has this type of a demi-matte finish, and this is something that Laura Mercier really does market with these, is that they don't dry down completely matte. They have a very kind of satin quality about them, but yet when you turn your head and you're wearing them, they don't look shiny at all. They're definitely not anywhere near glossy or shiny. They do overall have a more matte appearance, but there's just something about them that just retains the slightest bit of a sheen, and when I say slightest, I really do mean slightest. They're just not as matte and as dry looking as like the Anastasia liquid lipsticks can look, or even like the ColourPop ones. Those sometimes can have a very, very dry appearance to them, and I think that that has its time and place, and I know some people really enjoy that, but for me personally, I feel so much better when I wear a matte that still has a little bit of something to it to give it life, because I find that if I don't, it really dries out my lips super bad, and I feel like, oh, I just need to slather on something emollient to add some moisture back into my lips, and B, I just find that flat finish is just not very flattering on me. It just doesn't look the best. I like a little bit of, like I said, life into my lipstick, and that is definitely what this has. And I am so impressed that she was able to master up a formula that, like I said, gives you that matte, very on-trend appearance right now that everybody's seeing, but yet retains a good amount of moisture and still makes your lips look pretty, and it still makes your lips look healthy. And I guess that's what I like so much about this. Also, the colors are gorgeous. It's very pigmented. I really like the packaging. I think it feels very nice. It has a really great doe foot applicator that, as you can see here, is very flat, and I find it really easy to kind of carve out the shape of your lips with this. I'm just really, really obsessed with this, and these are by far my absolute most favorite lip products to wear of all time, because they're so comfortable and so long wearing, and I feel like I can get that liquid lipstick kind of feel, and I can still get that liquid lipstick look, but without the dryness and the heaviness, or, you know, like the chapped appearance. So I really, really like these. And I've not been able to find another liquid lipstick that at all compares to this. And I would also like to throw in that these are not sticky at all. So overall, they're just like a total A+ product. I love these. And then very finally, I want to talk about a tanner, and I think I touched on this a little bit. I don't remember when. It would have been maybe in like my June product reviews and purchases video. This is the Saint Tropez One Night Only Wash Off Face and Body Lotion. I know that there's other products out there that, you know, give you just kind of like a quick all over one night only kind of tan. This is basically what that is. It's a very gel-like formulation, and I'm gonna try to maybe show you guys just a little bit without actually getting this everywhere. It's not like a creamy lotion. It's very gel-like in consistency, and I tried other sort of temporary tanning products, and I've just never gotten the same result as I have with this. This is truly waterproof. I wore this on the night of my bachelorette party, and I mean, we were doing tons of crazy things. I was sweating like crazy. I really needed something to stay on, and I was so happy that this didn't transfer all over my white dress. I will say that you might get some minimal transferring. I don't know if, like I said, I was wearing stark white, so I'm sure if you were wearing something a little bit darker, you wouldn't even notice it at all. But regardless, this works so well, and the color that this gives is beautiful. It's not orange, it's not fake looking. Like most of the Tropez products, it's very, very natural. It just looks great. It really makes your body look healthy and glowy, and you got a little bit of color. It's very easy to apply. It doesn't go on streaky at all. I was so nervous when I first used this because every other product I've tried like this has been a complete disaster in application and wear time and sometimes in color. Where I feel like all of those three things, this product really performs very, very well on. And like I mentioned, that's very unlike any other product that I've ever tried. It also doesn't smell weird. It smells really nice. So I would really recommend this. Obviously, I would recommend all of these products, but if you're looking for a really good tanner that, you know, if you're just going out for a night, or if you just kind of need something temporary and you really just want it to be able to wash off in the shower the next day, that's how this is removed, is, you know, through soap, then this is absolutely perfect. And it's very unique as to any of the other, you know, very temporary tanners that I've tried. And that is it for this video. So I hope you guys like this. I hope you like this idea. Please let me know if you have tried any unique products, or sort of what your unique products are that might be in your collection. Please let me know in the comments and what you think about them, because I'm all for trying products that I can't find dupes for, or products that are just really worth the purchase because they're so unlike everything else out on the market. I really like products like that. As always, I hope you guys have a great night or day or whatever you're doing. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.